Hola a todos. We're going to do another English video today. This is for those of you who are U.S. citizens who are worried about immigration enforcement, deportation, detentions. I'm going to talk about what are your rights as U.S. citizens in case of immigration actions. So first and foremost, U.S. citizens cannot be deported. That's an absolute. So if you're a U.S. citizen by birth, you can never be deported. If you're a U.S. citizen by naturalization, in order to deport you, immigration would first have to take you into federal court in a denaturalization proceeding to prove that you committed fraud in your immigration process first, and only if they're successful doing that could they then deport you after they'd stripped you of your citizenship. But please be aware, born citizens, if you were born in the United States, you cannot be deported ever. So, if you are apprehended by immigration, it's important that you tell them repeatedly and immediately that you're a U.S. citizen, whether you're by naturalization or by birth. I'm an American citizen. If you were born here, say you were born here. If you have proof of that, either a U.S. citizen birth certificate or you have a U.S. passport, you can have a copy or an original and you can show that to them and say, this is my proof. If you don't have it with you, family members or an attorney can produce that for them. They have to release you. So what happens if immigration still holds you? They won't let you go. You've told them you're a U.S. citizen and they're holding you for immigration reasons. Well, so first and foremost, we can file a writ of habeas corpus in federal court to immediately have you released. Immigration has no authority to detain U.S. citizens. It's illegal, and we can demand that a federal court order your release immediately. That would be no problem to get, and if that happens to you, if you're a U.S. citizen and you're here in Nebraska, we can help file that case for you if you need it, or if your family members, you hear of a family member who's detained who is a U.S. citizen by immigration, we can help with that. Additionally, if a U.S. citizen is detained by immigration authorities wrongfully, then they can sue for damages. So if that were to happen, we can refer you to a good law firm that can sue the U.S. government and get you paid money for damages of being illegally held against the law. Lastly, I should clarify a certain point because this is something that causes a lot of confusion. ICE are law enforcement agents, so they can arrest people either for immigration or for criminal reasons. So, for example, if a U.S. citizen pushes an ICE agent out of the way, they could be arrested for assaulting an officer. That is a criminal charge. That is not an immigration authority. And yes, they can arrest you and charge you for that if they wish. If you are charged criminally with an offense and you're a U.S. citizen, you have the right to request bond, you have the right to an attorney, you have the right to remain silent if you're questioned, and you should exercise all of your rights. If you cannot afford an attorney will be appointed for you in your criminal case, and then you can fight your criminal case out in court. But please be aware, they cannot hold you for immigration reasons ever, and if that were to happen, you have the right to go to court and ask to be released immediately. So keep that in mind. As a U.S. citizen, you can't be deported. You cannot be detained for immigration, and if you are, there are court options for you immediately. And third, if you are arrested for a criminal violation, you can be held in that case, but you can request bond. You have all of the standard criminal rights that you've heard on TV and other places, and you can contest or fight your criminal case if you're charged with anything. So I hope that clears up some things. If there are still questions, let me know, but I hope people who are scared, who are born citizens, can maybe take some comfort in this. There are options for you, and if they do something illegal, you can hold them accountable for it. So thanks everybody for listening. I don't usually post in English, but I thought we're getting a lot of calls of late about this, and I hope this helps. So that's all for today. Talk to you later.